Hi everyone, and welcome to video number 1. Hooray! The first video in a new series, ladies and gentlemen. And this series of videos we're going to be examining and hopefully preparing you for your exam. And we're going to be looking at warfare through time. Warfare from 1250 to the present day. As they say, all's fair in love and war. Not that fair, you idiot. Warfare, the type of war that went on throughout British history. Now, war has been very important. Here's a fact for you, slightly odd one, but it's true, apparently. In the reign of Queen Victoria, now she was queen from 1837 to 1901, 64 years she was Queen of England. Did you know? Britain fought a war in every single year of her 64-year reign. Altogether, Britain joined in 230 different wars during her reign. That's more than 3 wars a year on average. So warfare has been a constant throughout the history of this country. So what we're going to be looking at is how warfare has developed, changed over a period of 750 years. Now, before we get into the course in detail, and that will come with the other videos, in this video I'm just going to give you an introduction so that you can have an overall look and you can begin to see what you will need to do well in the exam, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to concentrate on as you work your way through the course to prepare you and get you ready so that you can get the best possible mark in your exam. Now, the first thing, 750 years. So therefore, you need to know chronology. Chronology is a posh historical word for time. And to help you, the course is divided into 4 different time periods, 4 different sections. Medieval period, 1250 to 1500, also known as the Middle Ages, medieval warfare. Second section, early modern warfare, 1500 to 1700. Now that's roughly the Tudors and the Stuart period of English history. Early modern, section 2. Section 3, the industrial age, 1700 to 1900. That's the 18th and 19th centuries, the Georgian and the Victorian period of history. And the final section there, modern, the modern era, modern history, which is 1900 to now, 1900 to the present day. And that is largely, of course, the 20th century. So there's 4 different sections. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important that you work out the correct chronology because sometimes in the exam they will ask you questions on developments in warfare across the time period. So you've got to have the correct chronology, otherwise your answer will not make sense. So that's the first key thing to get into your heads, the 4 different sections, because you need accurate chronology. Now, as we work our way through the course, 750 years, we will look at 2 main themes, 2 main subject areas. And here they are for you, ladies and gentlemen. The nature of warfare and the experience of warfare. So, medieval section, we look at medieval nature, experience. Early modern nature, early modern experience, etc. and so on. Now, what do we mean? It might be worth you making a note of this if you haven't already done it from your lessons in school. Now, for nature, we are looking at the type of weapons, the actual makeup of the army, for example, the numbers, the type of soldiers, the role of the soldiers, the nature of warfare. That is what we will be looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm going to introduce you to 2 maybe new words. It's important you get them clear in your head. Composition. The composition of the army. Composition means makeup. not that makeup. Makeup as in how the army was organised, how many were in it, what were the different jobs, what were the different types of soldiers. Composition of the army is in nature. And the other new word maybe for you, combatants. Combatants. You might see either of these in a GCSE question. Combatants means fighters. So it's a posh word for the soldiers. So that's what we will be examining when we look at the nature of warfare. The second theme, the experience of warfare. What do we mean by that? Well, the recruitment and the training of the soldiers, recruitment and training of the army, but also the impact of war on civilians. Not everybody was fighting in the war, but people were affected, civilians were affected, and that comes in experience. So there we see, throughout 750 years, the nature of warfare and the experience of warfare. They are the themes that you will be studying over this course. Now, the next thing for us, the next thing that we are going to have a look at, if I can find it. Where is it? Here it is. Change and continuity. So I'm taking off my hat that maybe soldiers, generals may have worn in the 17 or 1800s, and I'm changing to a hat, a military hat from the First World War, 1914. I have changed because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to examine change, how warfare changed, and also how warfare stayed the same, or how warfare continued, to use a posh historical word. So change and continuity are two key words that we will be studying throughout the 750 years, because they will ask you questions on that in the exam. How did recruitment of soldiers change from one period to another? Or how did the training of soldiers stay the same from one period to another? So change and continuity are very, very important in this course. And to help us, as we go through the videos and as I show you examples of change, I will remind you, there he is, Charlie Change. Charlie Change. Every time you see this in a video, you can know that that is an important change in the development of warfare. Charlie Change. This will be appearing regularly, as will Charlie's friend. Sammy Same. Continuity, things staying the same. Change, continuity, they are vital, and it's important that, one, you know what the changes and the continuity were, but also, ladies and gentlemen, it's important that you know the reasons why things changed or why things stayed the same. So we'll have a look at that. Talk about things changing. It's about time I moved from World War I and I decide to go to more modern warfare. There we go, right up to date in a camouflaged helmet there. Modern warfare. Now, why do things change? To help us explain that, we use what are called factors. Factors, or reasons, or causes of change. Now, to help you remember, ladies and gentlemen, what factors mean. First of all, there's a word, factories. Well, what do factories do? That's right. Factories make things. Men and women make things in factories. Factories make things. Factors make things happen. Can you see what I've done there? Factories make things, factors make things happen. In other words, factors are causes or reasons for change, and we will have a look at them as the course develops. Factors, change. For example, if I were to be fighting in medieval times, one of the weapons would be the sword. Of course it would. This was a key weapon in medieval warfare, the sword. But if I were to move to modern times, we change to the machine gun. Well, how have things changed from a sword to a machine gun? Change. And of course, we will look at factors which helped to explain the change. Now, again, I strongly recommend you begin to make notes as we go through, maybe put them in different sections, examples of factors for change. And here they are. Here's a list for you. Science. As science got better, things changed in life, including warfare. Technology, linked in with science. Technology changes, so weapons changed. Same for communications. The government, the role of individuals, and attitudes in society. There we have 6 key factors which made things happen, which made things change. And as we go through the other videos, ladies and gentlemen, I will show you examples of all 6, so you can build them up in case they asked you in an exam to explain changes across time periods. You would have the answer because you'd be able to write about the different factors. Now the final thing. As we work our way through time, to help you understand chronology, to help you understand change and continuity, we will examine 7 different key battles in history. And then the battles will show you things changing and things staying the same. Now these 7 key battles, the exam board have called them 7 case studies. We are going to particularly concentrate on 7 studies of 7 important battles. Now, here they are for you. You may have heard of some of these battles, but not all of them. But don't worry, as we go through the course, you'll become an expert in all of these 7 battles. The first one, 1298, the Battle of Falkirk. Do you know anything about it? Well, if your answer's no or not yet, don't worry, you soon will. So there's the first one, 1298, the Battle of Falkirk. 1415, Battle of Agincourt. 1645, Battle of Naseby. 1815, Battle of Waterloo. 1854, Battle of Balaclava. 1916, the Battle of the Somme. And 2003, the Iraq War. Notice the 7 battles are right the way through the time period, from medieval through early modern to the 18th and 19th centuries, right up to modern times, including this century, the Iraq War. So there are the 7 key battles, the 7 case studies that we will examine as we go through the course. Finally, in this introductory video, just a very quick look at the exam paper. Don't worry, don't panic. I will look at different exam questions throughout the series of videos. And then at the end of the series, I will do some real detailed analysis of the exam paper. But now, just to make you aware of the different questions. In the exam paper, you will answer 3 questions on warfare. Okay, remember, I'll give you plenty of examples in the other videos. Let's have a look at what those questions are. Question 3, explain why... Sorry, no, get rid of that. Start again. Question 3, explain one way something either changed or something stayed the same. Explain one way, change, or continuity. So there we see straight away you will need good examples and a good knowledge and understanding of change and continuity. That's why I raised it in this initial video. Your next question, question 4. Explain why something happened. And they give you 2 bullet points, 2 clues. The final question, and you'll get a choice of 2 here. You choose the one that you actually prefer, the one you think you'll get best marks on. And they'll give you a statement about warfare, and then they'll say, how far do you agree with the statement? They'll give you 2 bullet points or clues to help you, and you will need also to use your own knowledge. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the course. That is what we're going to be doing. Okay? Weapons, armour, types of soldiers, types of battles, tactics, strategy, nature of war, experience of war. That's what we're going to be analysing. And I'll do them in chronological order for you, so that I think makes sense. And we'll start next time, the first video, really looking at the actual detail of the course, is early medieval warfare, right back to the start of the period, 1250. What was the nature, what was the type of war at that time? That's our first video, which is coming next. As ever, I hope the introduction has been useful for you, give you a good overall view of what we're going to be doing. Speak to you soon. All the best now.